Iguanas are lizards. Some species of iguana live on hot islands in the Pacific Ocean and use the environment to regulate their body temperature. Figure 11 shows an iguana on a rock in the sunshine. A marine biologist measured the oxygen consumption of an iguana at different temperatures. So body temperature, you can see it's going up, and up here, and so is the oxygen consumption, up, and up. I just do this so I can visually see the trend before I answer questions, because it helps me spot patterns in advance and prepares me for what's coming up. Describe how the body temperature of the iguana affects its oxygen consumption. It's for 1 mark, it's going to be very basic. As body temperature increases, so does oxygen consumption. We're just linking the two factors together and describing their relationship. Right, next. Explain why the body temperature of the iguana affects its oxygen consumption. So now we have to give a reason. So we know it increases its oxygen consumption. What reason would that be? Well, chemical reactions we know happen faster if they are taking place in hotter conditions. And that's the same for any biochemical reactions in the body. Now, which biochemical reaction uses oxygen? It'd be respiration. So if you're warmer, if your body temperature is warmer, respiration is occurring at a faster rate, so is using more oxygen. Let's see how this pans out. So enzyme reactions occur faster at higher temperatures. If you remember that in living systems, all chemical reactions are carried out by enzymes, and enzymes are very sensitive to temperatures, changes in temperature. So more respiration occurs, which requires oxygen. Iguanas do not have sweat glands. When an iguana is too hot, it pants by opening its mouth to cool down. Explain how this behavior helps to cool the iguana down. So by panting, what happens is you are basically getting rid of moisture from the body. So I don't know so if you were to breathe rapidly even through your own mouth, you'd see a lot of moisture leaves your body. So air comes in, cool air comes in, and you are basically transferring heat from your body to the moisture, and you're losing heat through evaporation. So as you pant, heat from your body is transferred to the water, and then the water evaporates and it cools you down. So how do we say this? We say panting increases water loss and therefore increases heat loss through evaporation. Where in the human brain is the thermoregulatory center? So if you forget this, for some reason, when my biology teacher always sort of said that the hypothalamus is like your brain having a tongue which dips into the blood and just checks everything's okay, checks various levels, checks glucose levels, checks temperature levels. And because it sounds a bit like hippo, I've just adapted what he said and turned it into a hippo with a tongue, and that helps me remember hypothalamus. So when you think about homeostasis, really, that one of the major players is the hypothalamus. It checks many aspects of your blood and certainly temperature. Explain the role of vasodilation in thermoregulation. Okay, so you basically have a network of blood vessels through the skin, and you have a valve called a shunt valve which can open and close. Now, when it's shut off, it means that blood is directed, it doesn't flow deep down in blood vessels, but it's directed through the blood vessels running to the surface of the skin, so you get more heat loss to the environment through radiation. That means heat is lost as infrared waves through infrared radiation. So the role of vasodilation in thermoregulation is to cool you down, and how it does this is by having the shunt valve close, and blood is allowed to flow through blood vessels through the surface of the skin, where more heat is lost through radiation. So there's a lot to say there, and it's for 4 marks. So vasodilation causes more blood to flow near the surface of the skin. Less blood flows through the shunt valve, so less blood moving through this valve here. A valve is something which can open and close. So more thermal energy is lost through radiation. You must always say how it's lost in thermoregulation. And so it cools the body down.